Hi, my name is Leilani, and in this video, I'm gonna share with you some tools to help you help your child with those pre-writing skills. The tools. We're gonna look at the tools. We're not gonna look at the curriculum. We're not gonna look at the technical terms. We're just gonna stick with tools that you can use. Some are gonna be cheap, some are gonna be a little more pricey, some are gonna be free. We're just gonna look at it all. I'm a former public and private school teacher. I now homeschool my 4 wonderful kids, and I am a homeschool evaluator in the state of Florida. My youngest does have Down syndrome, and we are going through the pre-writing stage right now where I'm having to use every single bit of resource I can possibly find to get her to really strengthen her hands. So all of these tools are gonna be helpful for kids in preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade, even 2nd grade. And this is definitely helpful for those of you that have kids with learning disabilities, Down syndrome, autism, all that. So I'm gonna share tools. Let's go. So before you have them writing any letter, you want to first really get those muscles strengthened. And there's a couple things that you can do to stimulate that. Play-Doh is a great tool, kinetic sand, having them build with Legos. Pretty much any type of fine motor toy that you could possibly find. You also want to start introducing them to the alphabet. Now, I do have my child watch Leapfrog Letter Factory. It's kind of old school, sort of. She loves it. It's one of my favorite shows. It's her favorite show, not mine. But it's effective, and that's why I keep doing it for 4 years. So Leapfrog Letter Factory, and that way they become familiar with the letters and their sounds. And Leapfrog actually introduces both uppercase and lowercase. So now you do kind of want to start with the uppercase first and slowly introduce the lowercase when it comes to writing. When it comes to recognizing, you want to teach both. So since I mentioned Leapfrog, I'm going to go ahead and share with you a Leapfrog tool. Basically, there is a level 1, a level 2.
Hi, let's write letters and numbers.
So there you go, self-explanatory. And then basically you're going to be tracing over the letters.
A letter or a number button.
And then it slides to erase. So this is really good, just hands-on fine motor practice. I did mention Legos. One of the things that you can do with those Legos, besides just clipping the blocks together, you can start to form letters with the Legos. So that's another really fun, almost really just, it's free. Well, it's kind of free because you probably have Legos at home, right? I do, like a lot, right? Their name, doing their name is huge. Constructing the letters is huge when it comes to pre-writing skills because now they're building it, they're looking at all the different parts, the different angles. I absolutely love these. Now I'm gonna say this is probably for the older preschooler because you've got the letter cards that look like this and you've got these wiki sticks. You can cut them to shape if you need to, or you can fold them in half. But the deal is that they're sticky. It takes a lot of effort to push them down. And I say that's really good for Down syndrome because pressure is one of the big things that you want to teach them, but it's also good for everyone else because that pressure that you're putting on them is teaching them the right kind of pressure they need, the awareness of pressure when it comes to writing, because obviously you don't want the kid to push too hard when writing or push too soft when writing. You want them to have that awareness of pressure. Like I said, with the smaller ones, you can cut them or you can always fold them in half for some of the smaller ones. They have more than just letters. They also have numbers, and I do think when it comes to pre-writing, you do need to be teaching the numbers as well as shapes and body awareness. Body awareness is absolutely huge, especially when you're talking about the midline, crossing the midline. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that because there's a lot of these exercises or actually tools that you wanna use to help you with crossing the midline. I learned about this from Katie over in Life in the Mundane, and I would say these are definitely for the older kids, not the early preschools, because you have to put a lot of pressure and these things kind of move around once you get them into spots. So these are called GeoStix. You can create designs. They come with a bunch of GeoStix and they come with a stack of cards and you can put them in order from easy to hard. So if you have a square, you can kind of maneuver it to also be a diamond, but it comes with a pretty good stack of cards too. My 4th grader enjoys playing with these. They're fun. You can make lots of different things. This is STEM too. I mean, these will last forever. Or you'll find them all over the place, like, you know, in your drawers where you put your silverware. Now I got this one from Learning Without Tears. I love Learning Without Tears. I'm also gonna do a video about Learning Without Tears because there's a lot of stuff. And it's sometimes really hard to navigate the preschool stuff and early kindergarten stuff. But this little contraption is specifically designed with stampers. Learning Without Tears, they teach them that the letters are made up of either lines or curves. And there's big curves and small curves and little lines and long lines. So if I want to make the letter D, all I really have to do is stamp, stamp. And then I got the letter D. I can write the letter D if I want to, or you can use this to make the letter I. Now, while we're on the Learning Without Tears track, there are also big sticks and big curves that you can do. You can hold up letters like this. They can hold up letters like this. Just make sure that when they're looking at it, they see it as a D from their perspective and they're not reversing it. There's your P, and of course it's reversed because I'm looking at it from my perspective. Or you could do it on the table, and that just makes it all the easier. The sticks, when I purchased them, they actually came with enough so that I could make one and that they could make one and copy what I made. But the idea is that you're building the letters, and you can really do that with the, like I said, Legos, with the GeoStix. You could do it with toothpicks. Or popsicle sticks. This is another little tool. This is Play-Doh. So with the Play-Doh, you've got the letters, you've got the numbers, and you have to roll out the Play-Doh to make a snake. And then they have to put the shapes down. This is what it looks like. Oh, I forgot to mention that after they're done fitting the letter onto it, they have to kind of rip it off. I also like that they have like the numbers on the side so you can actually count them. Now this is a fidget toy. I'm just gonna throw this in here that'll help with fine motor skills and with holding pencil skills. So, you know, when you hold a crayon or a pencil, you're not like this and you're not, you know, like this. You really wanna work those areas. I need to work. This is another tool that I use with my daughter to help build just stability within her hand and wrist. It's a magnet board, and the idea is that you want to get the magnet across. I'm going backwards here. So usually if the balls are on this side, I just flip it around. It's easy to just flip upside down, and there you go. I'm practicing. It is a little frustrating sometimes because you lose the ball, but then again, that's building mobility and stability. Another really good idea that a lot of parents forget about, doing things vertically as opposed to on the paper. That's super good for the kids when they're learning pre-writing skills because you are having to cross the midline, but you're in that vertical position. So there are a couple books that I like to use with my kids when it comes to pre-writing skills and recognizing letters, tracing over the letters. This is a good one. It's Numbers. And if you look inside, it's got some really bright colors, but the numbers are also bumpy. Now the numbers are a little fancy, so I try not to make a big deal of trying to get every little detail of the number. I just kind of go 1, 2. I also love these books. I got these super cheap off a book outlet. I know they have them on Amazon as well, but I love these because they have the arrows and everything. It starts from the top down, zip, zip, zip. This one is curve and zip. These are just little fun things that I say with my daughter. And then the number one is also super cute. Down, curve, zip. And then if you look, you got 5 bears. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one? He's hiding. I love these books. We go through them all the time. They've paid for themselves. This is kind of like a puzzle. I'm obsessed with this thing, but they're little cards. I like them because I can do my down or slide up, slide down on them, but I can also find the letter. I try to find the letter. And they fit in just like this. So I'll lay one card out and several letters, and then I try to see if she can fit the letter into the card. Now sometimes they'll have a hard time with spatial awareness and you see them Like my daughter has a tendency to do upside down. Don't jump to conclusions on the dyslexia stuff. It's too early to tell. Usually dyslexia will start showing up around 2nd, 3rd grade. So don't get wrapped up in that. Just correct them and keep working with them on their spatial awareness. And eventually they will hopefully get it. This is another one. Someone gifted this to me, but I know Melissa and Doug has one that is kind of similar, so I'll stick that link below. I love this thing because it's introducing words. Letters together make words. We've been using this, it's never too early to introduce words when letters make words. So we've actually been using this with her for a while now. Now sometimes it's just good to do the lines, whether you're drawing the lines, but let's not get to the drawing part. Let's talk about using something instead of drawing. I love these things. What you can do is you can get a piece of paper if you want to, if you're brave enough, draw the letter A and have them start at the top, dot, dot, all the way down. If you don't want to use dots, you can use stickers. You can get like, cool stickers. Those circle ones are usually the best with the smiley faces or designs in the middle. Do your letters, or you could just do diagonal lines. You could just do the curvy, the curvy lines. So besides coloring, okay, coloring is huge. If you can just get down and color with your child, so rewarding but motivating, and it just gets them exercising their little fingers. And also using you need your whole body for pre-writing. And people don't really realize that, but you do. You use your whole body. There's some stuff too with the nervous system that a lot of people don't know about. So sometimes that's why you'll hear a couple people say, get down, walk like an animal, swing in a swing, lay on your tummy time. Tummy time, it has to do with pre-writing. It has a lot to do with a lot of other stuff, but that's not what this video is about. So let me show you another tool that I use. Of course, I love these coloring books, but dollar store coloring books are great too. I do like these Usborne ones because the lines are very thick and they've already got some color on them as well. Now, Naomi, when she colors, we're getting stuff like this. It's not perfect, but I also model for her so you can see eventually what it should look like. But she's doing it. She's working those muscles and starting to get used to the fact that it needs to stay in the line. She did this one today. I did these, but she did this one today with like the loop. She tried to trace it like a maze. Mazes are great. I also found this thing, and this is one of those that you can just tape on the wall. You could do the stickers, the dot to dot. You can even start with the tracing. But seriously, stick it on the wall, tape it on the wall. But you do want to practice down here too. Just don't forget this. And also don't forget doing tummy time with the coloring and the drawing as well. I love this because it starts getting pretty advanced with the lines. Now, if you don't have anything that's bumpy and you want to kind of make your own, I printed this off from an IEW course that we used, and I took some glitter glue, made it puffy, and then I laminated it. So for a long time, we would trace the puffiness on it. And you can do this with really any letter card, or you could just use, a Word document and make the letters really big and just print it out and then do the glue. You can also do it with sandpaper. It takes a little bit longer to make the sandpaper shapes because you're cutting it out and then gluing it on an index card. Okay, now that we're getting into actually the writing side to things, there's a couple things that you can do. Chalkboards, I love these. I actually have 2 chalkboards. One where I write the letter shape and then she writes the letter shape, mimics it, she'll trace over mine. I also got these little bitty chalks. This is Learning Without Tears as well, but you can get this, a Rainbow Resource, they have these. Now, Learning Without Tears also uses these little sponge cubes, and so one is a wet one, usually the blue is wet because, water sometimes looks blue, and then the sun, it dries out the blue. We always do struggle with these a little bit, so I've resorted to wipies. This is also really good for tactile, for sensory processing, to get used to different textures. There's some kids, when they touch that, they touch it and they're like, oh no, I can't do that. And so what you want to do is continue to introduce it little by little so they get used to it, and then they learn the coping mechanisms they need to adapt to using those things, and you know the whole thing, right? You can also use these plastic sheets using a marker to draw on. You can also get a whiteboard to draw on. If they have a hard time with pressure, you can get some sandpaper and slide it underneath a regular sheet of paper and practice on top of that, so they can actually feel what they're writing when they're writing. There's more awareness there. Of course, there's lots of little workbooks that you can use where they're tracing over the letters. You know, we have Handwriting Without Tears. Name is super, super important to do when you're introducing those letters and pre-writing skills, because we do want the first word that they learn to be their name. Golf pencils are great with little hands, you know, little pencils, little hands. These are little crayons, little hands, and of course you want to practice their grip and work with them on that. And I think that kind of covers most of it. I mean, obviously get creative. Get as creative as you possibly can. Think of building, constructing letters, shapes, constructing numbers and shapes. Think about vertical, putting stuff on the wall, using stickers, using markers, dry erase markers, chalkboard, shape building with stamper. I mean, anything that you can get your hands on. I mean, I'm looking around, we have a bag of play mags. You could do letters out of these. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Check down below in the description box as well for all the different things listed out. Also, you can jump around because I've been putting chapters in there. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to our channel so you can follow along on this journey as I learn and I share, and you know, we live this life together pretty much. So yeah, we all do. You're part of this family too. So once again, I'm Leilani, and I will see you guys in our next video because I'm sticking a mirror on my face right now. Bye.